Marta Garcia is the latest victim of misogyny in motorsports. And this is genuinely one of the most puzzling instances of misogyny in motorsport I think I've ever seen in my life. You know, normally these degenerates have a go at a woman that's made a mistake or maybe did something silly because of a rookie error. I remember the flourish jokes people were making when she had the Macau accident, saying, "Oh my god, this is proof that women can't drive." You know, idiots, right? But this is genuinely one of the maddest instances of misogyny in motorsport I've ever seen. Marta Garcia, for context, yes, it was round 1 of the Michelin Le Mans Cup at Barcelona, Catalonia to be specific. Marta Garcia is leading the GT3 class in her Iron Dames Porsche 911. She's going down the second main straight. There are 2 main straights. There's the one long one on the front, and then there's the smaller one on the back. She's leading going down that, and the second place Ferrari behind her, driven by Alessi O'Donnell, tries to make a move on her mid straight. Tries to do like a little switchback, and it fails. And he ends up sending her right into the inside wall and causing a fiery accident so bad that they had to red flag the race. Now, luckily, Marta walked away from the accident fine, but it sent her to the hospital for obvious reasons. It was a terrible accident. Now, one would assume, upon viewing this crash, that Marta Garcia was the one, she's the victim. She literally did nothing but hold her line, while Dono was the one that was moving, and his movement led to the accident. But that didn't stop degenerates from going into the comments section and having a go at her, blaming her for the accident and saying, quote, "This is why women don't drive. Yeah, back to the kitchen, please. One more time, women never drive better. Why am I not surprised, huh? Why isn't she at the kitchen? Worst parking ever. This is what happens when you let women drive cars. Probably doing her makeup." Who are these people, man? Honestly, like, what do we have to do to get these guys out of here, man? This is genuinely the most unprovoked misogynistic abuse I've ever seen a woman get in racing. Usually these guys only show their face the one time a woman makes a mistake. Yeah? They sit down on their couches. Waiting for a woman to have the slightest slip up so that they can hurl abuse at them. But here we have an instance where the woman did nothing wrong. The person at fault was a man. This accident happened because of the errors of a man. And people are in the comments saying this is why women shouldn't drive. What do we do about these people, man? Honestly. What do you do about these people? How do you treat people like this, man? How do people with no conscience, they can't have a conscience. How do you with no conscience go on the internet on your account and make these comments about women? How if you're treating a woman that you don't even know like this, how do y'all treat the women in your lives? Would these people go up to the women in their lives and tell them this is why women don't drive? They probably would. They're probably that big twats, but they do that too, man. This thing really rubbed me the wrong way. I should have been recording my MVP of the race video for the Bahrain Grand Prix, but this has genuinely just made me so upset I needed to voice it in some way. Genuinely. I had to voice it in some way, man. Because I don't know how people like this exist. I don't even think they're real racing fans, man. My theory is that they saw the accident. They're just casuals and saw the accident. And just saw the need to have a go at the women. Like they always do. What is it about women that these Donnies don't like? What is it about women racing cars cleanly at that these guys can't stand? Why do men feel compelled to go in the comment section and hurl abuse at women just trying to make a name for themselves in this motorsport stuff? Why? And even when women make mistakes and do something that is slander worthy, You'd think they just have a go at the driver, but no, they use the few instances of women making mistakes to paint all women as bad racing drivers. And that is rooted in misogyny. And it always will be. Again, deep it. You're making fun of a woman driving for an all-female team, leading her class that got taken out by a man. When you put it that way, it don't make no sense, doesn't it? It don't make no sense. An all-female team that has won races in both World Endurance and European Le Mans. That's who you cooking. That's who you trying to have a go at. I don't know how many more times we have to say it, but women are capable of doing just as good as men. It's not some foreign rare sight to see women succeed at racing. Where y'all come from, man? Does Dorian Pan not ring a bell to you? I seen Simona de Silvestre on an IndyCar podium before. I seen Catherine Legg knock men out of the Indy 500. I seen Catherine Legg make Indy 500s when men failed. Catherine Legg's another one that got cooked a couple weeks ago at Phoenix. But at least in that case, people were critiquing the sport and whether or not she was experienced enough to race in the cup level. There was still misogyny within it. But I understood the overall point. But there is no overall point here. There's literally zero reason to have a go at Marta Garcia for this accident. She had zero. She had nothing, no say in this crash. Blatantly taken out and is being cooked on it by men that couldn't do better. Objectively could not do better. This is a call to all my subscribers and all the members of the motorsport community. You cannot allow stuff like this to go on, man. You need to call it out when you see it. Yeah? Don't let these guys get away with saying this foolishness, man. When you see it, you need to combat it head on. You can't allow dons like this to gain any legs, to gain any traction with the nonsensical drivel they spew. It needs to be combated on site. On site. Yes? Because when women come out and say that racing is not a safe space and that women are endangered within the community, people tend to deny it, depending on what event sparked the woman to say that. But it is impossible when you look at instances like this, it is impossible to deny that this is a problem in the community. This is a problem. This is not normal, bro. A woman is being cooked for being taken out by a man. It don't matter whether these guys are a minority or a majority. They can't be allowed, bro. They cannot be allowed to get away with these comments. They can't be allowed to have comments like this unchecked. If you see people like this making comments about women, you have to check them head on, man. Because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Marta is not in the hospital anymore, luckily. Yeah? And it's going to be very funny. I'd love to see the look on these guys' faces if she were to go on and win a Michelin Le Mans Cup race at some point this year. Are these same people going to come on the internet and say women can't drive? Or are they all of a sudden not going to have anything to say about women in motorsport? I'd love to know. Yeah? It is up to us. It is up to us as men within the community to ensure that women are protected from twats like this. Yeah? There's a difference between criticizing a woman for an accident and being a misogynist. These guys are misogynists. They hold the inherent belief that women cannot succeed at any level of racing, despite so many instances of that being proven false. It is up to us to ensure that we call it out when we see it. And it's not just the drivers. It's any woman in motorsport, whether that be a staff member, a media worker, a member of a race team, even fans. Yeah? Let women breathe, man. That's my message today. Intern out.